What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Stocks with Mike and Tom show. We have some big news to cover today as the stock market went crazy with the FOMC minutes report today. We're also going to be looking at Tesla stock as Tesla has a decent event tomorrow, and we're just going to cover some of the best plays we're seeing in the market right now. So make sure to stick around to the end of today's video. Let us know what stocks you are watching in the comments down below, and there's a good chance we'll cover them in tomorrow's video. But Tom, let's get right into it.
Yeah, just like Lael Brainerd said yesterday, the Fed is going to start tightening their monetary policy. And we can see on the CNBC article here that their minutes came out today, and it shows that they're going to plan to shrink the balance sheet by $95 billion a month. That's pretty big. I know they're going to be shrinking that balance sheet as well as doing a whole bunch of other stuff economically. But the main thing is here is that they're going to be tightening up their monetary policy. Just like Lael had said yesterday, there was a pretty nice article with her in it yesterday. But nonetheless, the market kind of like this, Mike. I will say we can see that the SPY today actually shot up once this report initially came out. Then it fell back down. Then it shot all the way back up. But the main thing is here is that the market did end up moving up very slightly. Although I will say, I think the bigger picture will come over the next couple days. But this was pretty big, Mike. And they talked about possibly having 50 basis point increases now rather than the 0.25% increases that they've been having in the past.
Yeah, so let's go over to the Fed rate hike tool really quickly. We can see that currently the market is pricing in a 78.8% chance of a 75 basis point to 100 basis point rate hike on the next Fed meeting, which will be on May 4th. So that's obviously a decent sized rate hike. The previous rate hike was only like 25 basis points. So if we go back to the CNBC article, Tom, really quickly, as you pointed out, the Feds are kind of tightening their monetary policy, which is expected. We can see the headline says the Fed officials plan to shrink the balance sheet by $95 billion a month. This is essentially the exact opposite of what the Fed has been doing for the past almost 2 years now. The Feds have been pumping the markets continuously, which is part of the reason we saw such an explosive stock market over the past 2 years. But that free money ride is ending, and now the Feds are starting to unload all of the bonds that they've been buying over the past couple of years, which again, it's expected. You know, everyone kind of knew about this. So that's important to keep in mind. And again, just like Tom said, the market is definitely pricing in some higher rate hikes in the future. So that's good to know. And just so you guys know, like, rates rising does not equal stocks falling. Like, a lot of times rates rise and stocks rise.
Yeah, that's a big point. You know, in the past, we've seen multiples of different scenarios where the rates were rising and the market was rising with them. So keep that in mind, especially over the course of a whole year. You know, generally, like over the course of a couple months, the market might pull back, but generally it'll end up doing very well afterwards. And we can see the 10-year index was up a lot today, Mike. And then also the 30-year fixed mortgage rate crossed 5% today. This is pretty big. We can see the chart here on CNBC. From the beginning of this year, it was around like 3.5%. Now it's all the way up above 5%. So that's insane to see. Also, surging interest rates have caused home demand to fall by over 40%, according to this CNBC article from 1 year ago. So that's just insane. Like I said, that 30-year fixed rate crossed 5%, which is going to be a big deal, Mike. You know, I know the housing market has been booming. People have been buying up tons of houses left and right, especially like home developers and stuff. I've heard that there's been some pretty crazy stuff going on, especially because of the price of all the stuff it takes, like steel and all the commodities and stuff like that, like lumber. Obviously, we know that those markets have been going crazy. So the housing market was doing so well there for a while, but it looks like it's starting to come down now with demand down more than 40% from a year ago. That's pretty telling, but that 30-year fixed rate crossing 5% is a big deal.
Yeah, so mortgage rates rising will have a direct impact on housing affordability. Obviously, when mortgage rates go down, people can qualify for higher priced homes. When they rise, it's a different story. So that is very interesting there. Tom, I also want to talk a little bit more about Tesla stock and what's on the schedule for tomorrow. So Tesla, like many other stocks today, fell. What is on the schedule with Tesla for tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow's pretty big, Mike. I will say Tesla's going to have a new event coming out called the Cyber Rodeo event. And it's a pretty cool name, to be honest with you. They might unveil some cool stuff with some vehicles here, but they're pretty much going to be unveiling their Gigafactory in Texas. It's going to be kind of like how Elon Musk had his event at the Gigafactory in Berlin last week. So they're pretty much going to be opening up the factory and everything like that. They're also going to announce the launch of the Model Y production at the plant. So that'll be big for it as well. But as we know, Mike, anything with Elon Musk is huge. Twitter stock has been flying up the past couple days. It even had a good move this morning. So to be honest, I really hope that Tesla maybe gets a good boost off this event. And I think they might. You know, they're supposed to unveil some pretty cool stuff. And who knows, maybe Elon Musk will surprise us. I know he has in the past.
No doubt about that. I mean, who would have thought that he would have joined Twitter's board and bought 9.2% of the company? So that's crazy. But how is Twitter stock doing? Because I know it's been all over the place.
Yeah, I will say this morning, it really surprised me. I'll tell you, I thought that we were going to start pulling back. Whenever the market opened, Twitter was hovering right around $50 a share, and it started falling below there at market open. But then we ripped right back to the upside in the middle of the day. And I think this was a pretty good move, Mike, because we actually had the SPY falling off early in the morning while Twitter was starting to move up. So I think that was showing that Twitter had some strength. Now, it did end up falling off towards the end of the day as the volume subsided. But I will say, I think overall today, it held that $50 support very well.
All right, there we go. So I just want to give a giant shout out to our member of the day really quickly, which is Rich L. Huge shout out to Rich L on YouTube. He is one of the most consistent commenters of the channel. Tom and I really appreciate you. Comments help us so much, and it really helps us. So huge shout out, Rich L. Thanks so much for being a great member of the channel. But Tom, let's get right into these momentum plays for tomorrow. With the first one, we have Square to the downside.
Yeah, poor Square got killed today. Go ahead and make them break below 124.60 right at that low of day.
With the next one, we have Zoom.
Zoom, they were also going down almost all morning here. Go ahead and make them break below 113.34.
And then with the last one, we have Facebook.
Facebook also back to the downside. Make them break below 221.41, right there around that 222 support.
Sounds good. So we're watching Facebook, Zoom, and Square for potential day trades to the downside tomorrow, only if they break below the levels Tom listed. And Tom, let's showcase the bot over the past couple of days. If you guys trade options, definitely check out that first link in the description and the comments down below. Today's bot play went from $35 to $42 in a couple hours. Obviously, it wasn't a super explosive play, but it was still a pretty decent sized run up. The bot has been on fire over like the past couple weeks, Tom. It's been insane. It really has been insane. So we could see that on Tuesday, the bots play went from $218 all the way up to $303. That's like a 39% increase in just a couple hours. Last week, the bot had an amazing call out with Apple on March 30th. That play went from $238 up to $367. And the bot had another amazing play on March 24th with Delta. That play went from 53 up to 89 in a couple hours. It's a 68% increase. So if you guys trade options, check out that first link in the description and the comments down below. Our bot has been on fire lately. You won't find it anywhere else. You get access to day trades, swing trades. You can chat with Tom and myself all day long. We have a bunch of other bots that you won't find anywhere else. And you can cancel at any time. And there's a coupon running. So it's definitely worth trying it out if you trade options. Besides that, Tom, do you have any favorite setups heading into tomorrow?
You know, there's a lot of stocks moving to the downside right now in some pretty big ways, unfortunately. Like we pointed out with our day trades here, you know, like Square, unfortunately, had a pretty bad sell-off today. Unity sold off a lot. And then a lot of these stocks created some pretty good supports down here. So like Unity has a pretty good double bottom going on right around $92. I feel like heading into tomorrow, Mike, if these stocks continue to move lower, we're definitely going to see some good breaks of support. So definitely keep some of these stocks on the radar. I will say, I hope that the market gets some renewed optimism back to the upside. It was really bad the past couple days, especially yesterday, whenever Brainerd came out and pretty much made the market go down on her hawkish statements. Now, today, the Fed was even more hawkish, and the market just kind of was like a heartbeat monitor, it went flat. So it's going to be a tough one. I think stocks might start to come back up a little bit based on what we're seeing here with the SPY starting to bounce off of supports. But it's going to be tough to gauge. I would say heading into tomorrow, like if the SPY starts falling below 444, we're going to have to start looking at stocks to the downside again, unfortunately. And, I was hoping maybe that the minutes would help the market go back up. But, it seems like that the Fed's being hawkish is not helping the markets lately. So like we saw, or like we said earlier, Tesla was down 4%. Nvidia, the big chip stocks were really down today, down 5.8%. We had AMD down almost 3%. So there was definitely some big moves going on in the markets here.
All right, so be prepared for more volatility tomorrow. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. We post brand new videos every single day. Again, if you want to try out our options bot, the link for that is going to be the first link in the description and the comments down below. The bot's awesome and you won't find it anywhere else. Besides that, let's have a great end to the week.